More information regarding the Kaylee Gaines case has come out, and I want to first start by saying when I made my original video, the only articles I could find on the situation were basically saying two young girls get in a fight, one young girl ends up with a traumatic brain injury, the other young girl gets arrested and is potentially being charged as an adult. Obviously, more information has now come out, and we are going to talk about it here. So if you don't know, Kaylee Gaines is the 16-year-old girl from St. Louis who was left in critical condition with a traumatic brain injury after getting into a fight with 15-year-old Marnice DeClue, a girl that she went to school with. It was originally reported that Marnice attacked Kaylee and repeatedly smashed her head into the concrete during the fight, but now it is being reported that Kaylee is actually allegedly the one that started the fight. Kaylee's father went on to say that he and his wife went through their daughter's phone to try to figure out what led up to the altercation. He went on to say, quote, they both agreed to the fight to meet up and settle what was going on. He also went on to say that Kaylee and Marnice had allegedly been insulting each other for weeks before the fight. Everything allegedly started after Kaylee apparently was suspended for school after she got into a fight with a friend of Marnice. The girls then allegedly spent weeks sending hateful and threatening text messages back and forth before eventually deciding to meet up and fight. The fight apparently went down about a mile away from the Hazelwood High School that they both attended. Now, obviously, video of the fight was circulating all over social media, mainly the part of the video where we see Marnice on top of Kaylee bashing her head into the ground. Then we also go on to see what looks to be Kaylee begin to have a seizure while other teenagers start fighting just feet away from her. Now, even though Kaylee's parents obviously know that Kaylee as well as Marnice agreed to meet up for the fight, they are still slamming what they claim to be Kaylee's attacker, Marnice, who is being held in custody, and they are demanding that she be tried as an adult. However, Marnice's parents, who have been visiting her while she is held in juvenile detention, have gone on to say that police have compiled messages from social media that show threats to Marnice from Kaylee. Marnice at one point had said that she would like to apologize to Kaylee for what happened, and the family did respond by saying, quote, while these statements do not change the family's stance that it is appropriate for the accused to be tried as an adult, it is encouraging that the accused seems to be remorseful for what transpired during these unfortunate events. This does not, however, change the fact that the family firmly believes that there is more than sufficient evidence for the accused to be tried as an adult. Gwendolyn, the aunt of Marnice, went online to say that, quote, cruel people had managed to get their GoFundMe that was raising money for Marnice's legal fees taken down, and that her niece was the true victim. May 10th was the date that was set for the hearing to figure out whether or not Marnice would be tried as an adult for first-degree felony assault charges. And they have come to the conclusion that she will be tried as a minor. Marnice's attorney went on to talk about how Marnice is a very smart girl. He went on to say, quote, we are doing everything we can to protect her from it, but she has a good understanding of the law. Now, as we previously stated, the GoFundMe account that Marnice's family had originally launched trying to raise $150,000 for legal fees was taken down for allegedly breaching GoFundMe's terms and conditions. However, Marnice's aunt Gwendolyn went online to say that their Cash App had also been taken down after people had reported it for allegedly being a scam. She went on to say, quote, people can be so cruel, and they have worked really hard and succeeded at getting the Cash App taken down as of this morning. Some of you are saying it was a scam. It wasn't a scam, it was legit. If you would like to help in my niece's legal support, please reach out to us. Your help is truly appreciated. The fundraiser that raised nearly $3,000 before being taken down by GoFundMe went on to say that Marnice was unfairly painted as a bully in a, quote, complicated situation. The fundraising page was set up on March 16th with Marnice's family saying that they had allegedly been threatened with racist death threats. Marnice's family went on to say that she deserved amnesty and a chance at forgiveness, and they went on to claim that her fair trial was being swayed. However, Kaylee's family responded by saying that Marnice's family was attempting to downplay Marnice's actions. Marnice's aunt went on to talk about how Marnice is an honor student at Hazelwood East High School and how she has an exemplary record and how she was just defending herself in the fight with Kaylee. However, Kaylee's family claims that Marnice's family is trying to suggest that just because Marnice is an honor student and multilingual and in the choir, that means that she is all of a sudden incapable of committing a violent act, which they find to not be true. It is being said that Kaylee's mother allegedly drove her to the fight. Lots of people are calling for Kaylee's mother to be charged. Now, they are saying that the recommendation that Marnice be tried as a juvenile is not surprising considering the fact that she does not have a previous record. Now, in juvenile court, the juvenile officers put heavy emphasis on the child's previous record, their school disciplinary history, as well as their character before recommending a certification for them to be tried as an adult. The juvenile officer went on to say that she has went through all of Marnice's records and that she has also met up with Marnice as well as her parents multiple times since she has been in juvenile custody. She went on to say, quote, we look for repetitive types of offenses, and this is not part of a repetitive pattern. If she remained in the juvenile system, She would respond well, engage, and communicate well with the court. The officer also went on to say that Marnice had already earned the highest category for good behavior since being in custody because she has had no negative behavior incidents and has always been respectful and consistently follows the rules. Now, Judge Dodson did deny Marnice's attorney's motion to have Marnice released to the custody of her parents and just be placed on house arrest. And the juvenile prosecutor opposed Marnice's release as well, saying that there had been no credible evidence to show that she no longer posed a threat to public safety. They also went on to say that since death threats had also been made towards Marnice, that keeping her in custody was best for her safety. I'm sure. Marnice's attorney went on to say that she is an outstanding student who plays the violin, speaks multiple languages, and had never been in trouble before this incident. In court on Friday, Kaylee's stepmother did go on to read a victim impact statement talking about Kaylee's injuries as well as the uncertainty when it comes to her future. She went on to say, quote, "We were on a traumatic roller coaster that we weren't sure would ever end. Her road to recovery won't be over anytime soon. While our daughter will, in all likelihood, require lifelong medical care and therapy to overcome the trauma and injuries that were inflicted on her, we pray that the juvenile shows remorse and shows accountability for her actions, so that no one else's lives are so irreversibly changed in the future. A terrible choice was made by two teenage girls to solve their issues through violence. This caused one of them to go too far with their bare hands and a concrete road." Marnice's mother cried in court as she talked about how her family as well as her church had been praying for Kaylee's recovery. They went on to say that their daughter never intended to hurt her as badly as she did. Marnice's mother went on to talk about how she has a 3.2 GPA with mostly advanced placement classes, as well as aspirations for going to a historical Black university or college. Marnice's mother went on to say, quote, "There was no malice, she was just defending herself. I hate for her education to be interrupted. She had no intention or thought that this would happen. We are all very sorry, and so is she." Marnice's Spanish teacher actually came to court and testified on her behalf, calling Marnice his go-to student and saying that she was the one he would go to help motivate other students who weren't as interested in participating in class as she was. The juvenile officer did acknowledge in court that Kaylee was the first one to throw a punch during the fight, and the judge presiding over the case says that he will take the recommendations into consideration and give a ruling at a later date. So I'll say this. I always find it sad that children are deciding to handle their issues with violence, so much so that we are now finding children in situations like this. Absolutely. I think stupid childhood fights escalating to things like this are extremely sad. It is sad that this girl put herself in a situation to be so severely injured at such a young age. Her life will most likely never be the same, and she can't really be mad at anyone but herself. And it's extremely sad that this young girl has potentially ruined her future by defending herself. Because even if she's charged as a minor, it's still an assault charge. I think it's disgusting the way the media originally twisted this story to only tell one side. And I just think it's a heartbreaking situation all around. I do hope that Kaylee can recover at least as good as realistically possible considering the circumstances. And I hope she can use this as a learning lesson that you have to be careful who you start stuff with because you don't get to decide how far they're willing to take it. You don't get to throw a punch at somebody and then get mad because they hit harder. I hope this young girl is honestly released without charges. I hope she can continue to go and have the successful life that she was working towards. I mean, her credentials speak for themselves. She's an extremely intelligent, successful student without a history of being a troublemaker, without a history of any sort of violence, and it would be extremely wrong for her future to be ruined over a situation that she herself did not start. Parents, be more involved with your kids. Go through their phones. Your children are entitled to privacy, but not as much privacy as y'all are allowing them to have. You need to know what's going on. The fact that these girls were able to threaten each other for months over text message and nobody knew about it, that's a parenting failure. And if Kaylee's mama really did drive her to that fight, throw her ass in jail. But I don't know, you guys. Let me know what you think in the comments down below.